All right, well, relax everyone. Labor has learnt their lesson on coal. Despite the fact that they voted twice for a climate emergency, despite the fact that they are still saying that we need to do the 50% renewable and 45% emissions reduction, they haven't walked away from that policy yet, remember. Well, they decided to throw a few of them down a mine. And here is some of those MPs that were there. Kimberley Kitching, who's actually a pretty good egg, is amongst them down there, having a look at a mine in Queensland. It means they get it. But of course, the Queen of Woke, the lady who flew more times this year than her leader in planes, you know, doing her bit for the climate emergency, Sarah Hanson-Young. Well, she says lots of Labor voters will be shaking their heads. Sorry, I've got to do my woke voice, don't I? Lots of Labor voters will be shaking their heads at seeing Labor MPs hanging out with the Minerals Council, the same bunch of lobbyists that killed the mining super profits tax and campaigned against a price on carbon. That's just the liturgical dance version of it. So, Nicholas, that's it. You're back with coal. You're good with mining because you threw a few MPs down the mine shaft. Well, tickety-boo, all is forgiven.
Well, let me start with mining, okay? So I agree with you 100%, Paul. Mining is a very important part of the Australian economy, and I don't support those folks protesting at that mining conference in Melbourne. You know, I think their behaviour is absolutely idiotic because no matter, you know, we can have a debate tonight on the future of coal, and as you know, I lean in. I want to see Australia transition away from coal fairly quickly. But under any scenario, mining is a big part of Australia's future. Like, you can't make the solar cells for solar power without mining. You can't make the lithium and the lithium batteries without mining. You can't make wind turbines without mining. So under any possible future scenario for this country, mining is going to play a big part. So for Sarah Hanson-Young to be attacking those Labor MPs for going out on the road with a mining cancer, well, that's just idiotic as well. As for the coal debate, look, I think Labor's working that through at the moment. Look, I've got one view about that. Other people in the Labor Party have got a different view. I mean, that's what happens in political parties. There's debates. It's a great thing. It's called democracy.
Well, that's also called spinning, but we'll get to it in a second here. Pauline, I mean, all's forgiven. People of Queensland, I mean, they've got no bullshit detector. They're just going to say, oh, really? I'm all in on these guys now.
That's right, Paul. It was quite evident in the last federal election when the Labor Party were badly hurt right across the whole state because they were against the Adani mine. Coal mining is very important, especially the central Queensland, and the jobs are going to come out of Rockhampton and Townsville and a lot of the industry from Mackay, so it's very important in central Queensland. And I'll tell you the point here. Didn't Joel's Fitzgibbon change his tune to mining and the agricultural sector when he came within just over 800 votes of losing his seat due to One Nation. So he's done a complete turnaround where he wants to actually drop the emissions target, the Labor Party's emissions target, and basically the same as what the Liberal Party is, but he's been jumped on top of. So a clear message went to the Labor Party with regards to mining. They need to wake up themselves because they were trying to get the Greens votes, the Greens preferences, but they realise that the majority of the Australian people don't want what they're offering.
Well, but also, you know, Michael, this little pivot, this little swing that Albo is doing, and, you know, Nicholas was having a view and they have another view, which seems to be, look, we'll keep all the targets. Lots of people will still lose their jobs, but it's okay. We'll still need, you know, mining to build the wind turbines. Forget who pays for the wind turbines, etc., etc. This all seems to speak to that fundamental misreading of the election, that it was all just the salesman, not the ideas.
Yeah, I saw Kim Carr say that the other day, which I thought was completely bizarre. I mean, the election was lost on policy. It wasn't lost by Shorten being unpopular, by the way. It wasn't lost because of that. It wasn't lost because Shorten was a bad salesman, quite frankly. It was lost on policy. If ever an election was lost on policy, this was it. And I think people are now completely confused about what Labor's policy is on coal mining, on coal mines, on the future, on the renewable energy targets. Fitzgibbon probably is closer to the mark than anyone else in the Labor Party. He's got his finger right on the pulse for reasons that we well know. But there is total confusion. As you say, the Queenslanders have got a big BS detector. So have the Western Australians, by the way.
Correct.
You know, the next best thing to secession is a mine.
So
But finally, can I just say something? You mentioned Sarah Hasty-Young before. She was bagging the Minerals Council of Australia. Well, at least the Minerals Council, Paul, have never had a policy where 1,000 people drowned at sea, have they?
Correct.
I've never seen one.